Hi, welcome to Film Flush.
When good films float on top.
And the bad films get flushed.
Hi, welcome back to Film Flush. Today we're going to talk about Park Chan-Wook's latest movie, Stoker. It stars Mia Wasikowska as a teenage girl whose dad just passed away, and one day just a mysterious uncle called Uncle Charlie, played by Matthew Goode, just shows up at their home in the funeral, and everything just goes to hell in the family.
Come and say hello to your Uncle Charlie.
What do you want from me?
To be friends.
We don't need to be friends. We're family.
Dex, what do you think of the movie?
Well, this movie, although it has references to vampires because of the name Stoker, and there's certainly some literary references thrown in the movie, it's not a vampire movie. It's one thing we need to make clear to all the viewers. It's not a vampire movie.
It is a horror, kind of a horror movie, but
mystery thriller. Actually, isn't even like, I mean, if you think about Park Chan-Wook, most people associate with like the violence that you saw in the Vengeance trilogy from Oldboy and all that. This movie isn't really that violent. I mean, it's still violent in some parts, but it's not like all out violent. So it's kind of a departure for him, and what jumps out to me is really how just this movie just shows like his directorial ability. Like, he really uses all his tricks in the book to create a suffocating atmosphere. Like, just the amount of like techniques he uses, like the emphasis of like diegetic sound. Like, there's like
a lot of Foley work in the movie.
Yeah. Dutch angles, really extreme, uncomfortable close-ups. Just maximizes everything to full effect. And one thing that really struck me was Clean Mansell's score. It's
eerie, and it does the job very well. What struck me about what I like about the movie is Park Chan-Wook's his aesthetic, his visuals treatment of Stoker is marvelous. I think he's able to bring. It's like every scene is like brimming with something, you know. Like you never know what you're gonna expect. Like he bring you to like in a fork in a road, and he never tells you which direction the movie will go. And
there's always a subtext to everything he shows, and I think that really, I mean, in a mystery film like this where you're kind of guessing, especially in the movie where like Mia's character and Matthew Goode, like it's like whether who's following who's hunting who, like this duality, like you're kind of just guessing where the movie is taking you, and Park really, with all his subtext, that you're just trying to follow him, and it kind of makes for a really engaging and kind of tiring experience. By the end of the film, you're just exhausted. And
let's not forget to mention that the movie is shot by Park's long-time collaborator Chang Chang-hoon, who shot all the Oldboy movies.
He went with him to America for this.
And I think everyone should watch this film. Okay. Let's talk about performances. Mia Wasikowska, what do you think?
I think she's mature. She's been maturing as an actress right before our eyes, and she's just like kind of crazy if you think about it. She's only 23, which is same age as me. What have I been doing with my life?
We're talking about movies, so on the internet.
She's acting in one, okay. But yeah, she shows a lot of poise, and this is a kind of like a different role for her. She's always been kind of, not always, but she's been penciled into like the kind of like the innocent, nice girl type role. So this is kind of, I mean, the character of India still has some innocence, but she's a bit more dark and mysterious here, and she really has a very like just a very kind of, I would say it's like a blank page sort of performance in which she kind of just goes in the either two directions, like young innocent or mysterious, like rebellious girl, and it's really a very poised and graceful performance
Yeah,
from
I
her.
agree with you about Mia maturing with every film that she's in. Like this film also reminds me of a certain character back in an old movie, like something like Carrie, like
Yeah.
a very lonely person, a lonely girl who has this distant mother, and she's an outsider in a school, the kind of thing, but without the telekinesis, without the superpowers, lah.
Yeah, the interesting thing is she's on the end of her childhood phase and she's about to turn a woman, but like the appearance of this Uncle Charlie seems to push her towards adulthood at the same time, like just kind of pull her back into childhood, and she kind of keeps going back and forth from it. And of course, when we're talking about good performances, Matthew Goode in the movie,
Matthew Goode is good.
he's great. This has come a long way. In this movie, he plays the mysterious Uncle Charlie. The whole movie, you're trying to find out what he's there for. He's the instigator of things. He's like the movie's name, a stoker. He's stoking the fire, so to speak. And he puts in this just kind of like crazy, seductive performance that's it's not just seducing Nicole Kidman's character, but also kind of Mia's character. What do you think?
I think Matthew Goode is kind of creepy in the movie, you know. Like when he first came into the shot, I always thought that there's something up with him, and really there's okay. I'm not gonna spoil the movie
just
for you.
the smile, man.
Yeah, his smile is so creepy, and you never know what he's thinking. What is his mind?
He's so magnetic on screen in this movie. Like every time he appears, you're just like, you're not looking somewhere else or bored. You're just like staring, wondering what he's gonna do next.
I read that he really fought hard to get this role, and I think
it was originally meant for Colin Firth.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit. Definitely a good fit.
Yeah, and Nicole Kidman as well in the supporting role as his mum.
Yeah.
She plays like this kind of like strong, oppressive even kind of woman.
I think it's one of the best performances ever of late lah.
Yeah, she kind of flips it and just becomes like this emotionally vulnerable person and fragile, and it's like I said, like there's a duality to Mia. There's kind of a duality to everyone in this movie. Like they just kind of flip from one extreme to another, and it's really just great performances all around. Like Park's direction and the great performances, I feel kind of save and elevate what is kind of a average script. In my opinion, there's some plot holes.
Yeah, definitely a lot of plot holes. Like the script is written by Prison Break's Wentworth Miller.
Yeah, the hunky Wentworth Miller.
There are a couple of holes in the script. Like like Miller's script, he gives you that one direction, but then he just leaves things hanging. I think in some of the story arcs and in the plot.
I felt the biggest plot hole was somehow Uncle Charlie just knew where to be all the time, you know. And I mean, you can kind of get away with that sometimes, but it's definitely something people will notice. But I feel, the great performances and Park's very strong direction just kind of make you forgive that, in my opinion. I certainly don't really care that much about the screenplay's holes as much as I would have in some other movies.
This is definitely one of Park's best movies, his first English language one, and I think for a Hollywood studio to let Park just run wild, it's just amazing. And he's really true to his vision in this movie, and he just pull out all the stops.
I mean, I had the opportunity to go over to Seoul to interview him. And actually, for him shooting this movie was more rushed for him.
Okay.
He kind of did it in 40 days, which is crazy.
Wow.
And I mean, they wanted him. It was Fox Searchlight, a very author-driven, kind of more indie-focused Hollywood studio. So he kind of accepted it, and I have the interview, which we will have on the site soon.
On insync.com, yes.
Yes.
As well as interview with Mia Wasikowska.
Yep. And I guess that's it. We're not flushing this movie.
Are we gonna flush it? So, not flushing. So what we do? We'll float, bloop, 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 bloop.